For today's review, we have set 76424 Flying Ford Anglia containing 165 pieces, retailing for $15 and released in 2024. Now this set is still available on lego.com, but taking a look at the prices on Bricklink anyways, if you want to purchase this set new, the average is going to be $17, and if you want to purchase it used, that average is going to be $11. Moving over to our minifigures, we get 2 minifigures total in this set. From left to right, we have Harry Potter, then Ron Weasley. And if we flip them around and remove their headpieces, we do get some alternate faces for those minifigures, as well as some back torso printing. We do get some animals as well. First we have Harry's owl head wig, and then we have Ron's rat scabbers. So here we have our one and only build for this set, which is the Ford Anglia. Now we're going to start with the front of the vehicle here, so let's go ahead and start taking a look at it in closer details. So at the front here, you can see we do have a sticker that says 7990TD. I'm not exactly sure what this is referencing to, so if any Harry Potter fans have any idea what this is, just let me know down in the comments. But we have some lights up here. I really like the way that this front looks with this piece right here, how it's giving it that look. It's very nice. We also have the mirrors here on the left and right side of the hood, so that's pretty cool. We get some wheels down here, very small, but it kind of fits the car, so it makes sense. On the side here, we have a line going down the middle, and I do like the line. It is accurate to what's seen in the movie, but the one thing that I dislike is how it just kind of fades away right here, and then just kind of picks up back to the kind of actual white versus like an off-white because of how it's faded here. So I don't really like that. I wish that they would have done a better job of printing the white line there and it going completely to the end, so that it just kind of looks more consistent. So they weren't able to do that. I also don't really like how this particular piece right here is gray. It just kind of stands out, especially when you're trying to make a white line here. So I don't think there is a recolored version of this piece right here, but if there is, then they definitely missed that opportunity. So continuing on, we do get to this back section here where a lot of it is brick built, so that's really nice that they were able to do that. So you can kind of get some brick or plate texture, I should say, in this area just because of the fact that it is brick built. And then back here, we have another sticker. So again, it is that 7990TD number. Don't know what it means, but I'm sure there is some little Easter egg behind it somewhere. Then we have the translucent pieces back here working as lights, which look very cool in my opinion. We have the trunk as well, which we'll get into a little bit later. The back windows here inside the vehicle, there is some back windows in there, which is cool. And then on the other side, we have the same thing as what we just saw on the left side of the vehicle, which is more of this line, this white line, the fade away here, and then the continuation of that white line there again. And then we just come back to the front. Now the final sticker is in the interior, so there's 3 stickers total, but we'll take a look at that in a second when we get to the interior. Now the next thing that I wanted to take a look at is the trunk of the vehicle. So you can gain access to this trunk just by lifting this right here, and you can see that you have space back there for some items. Now on the back of the box and in some Lego ads, it does say that you can fit certain things in here. Number one, you can fit this suitcase that the vehicle comes with. So you can fit this in here if you are just kind of laying it down like so, and then you can just close it and it closes perfectly. As you can see, there's no gap there. So that's one of the things that you can put in there. Unfortunately, you can't, sit this thing standing up, but because it leaves a big gap right there, but it is intended to lay down, so that's not too big of a deal. The next thing you can fit in here is scabbers. So you can fit him in here. However, if you try to fit him in there standing upright like so, the vehicle doesn't close all the way. You can see there is a little gap, so you can see his legs down there. So you can't fit him in there like that. What you have to do is you have to turn him sideways so that his body is like this, and then you can close it. And at that point, you can, you have no gap, so you don't have to look at little feet down there. Now, it's not too big of a deal if there even is a small gap. It is the smallest of gaps, but I prefer for everything to be essentially perfect in regards to mechanisms like this. And then the last thing you can fit in here are the wands that the minifigures comes with. So you can fit these in here. Obviously, these are very easy to fit in here. You just set them in there and you just close it. That closes perfectly. But the thing is that you're supposed to be able to fit all of this together. Now you can do that. However, it is essentially a perfect orientation that you have to get in order to fit everything in here and for the trunk to close perfectly. So let me go ahead and do that, and we'll come back to it. So this is the only orientation that I was able to figure out where I could perfectly fit everything in here. So you have one of the wands down here, one of the wands up there, and then the suitcase is kind of in the corner, and then the Scabbers is just kind of laying down with his legs on that suitcase. And if you see here, if you close this, it does close perfectly and there is no gap back there. So that was kind of the only orientation I could figure out where this stuff fits perfectly back here, but nonetheless it does fit back there completely. So I think that in the end it still is a functional kind of mechanism back there, or play feature I should say. The final thing that I wanted to take a look at is the interior of the vehicle. So there is multiple ways to access it. One, you can open this door right here and then you have access to this side. Two, you can open this door right here and have access to that side. Or the easiest way to gain access is you pull this whole plate off the top here, and then you got access to the interior from the top, which is much better. Now there is a sticker in here, so this is the third and final sticker of this set. This is the steering wheel here, which I'm not a big fan of. I wish they would have gone with an actual steering wheel, but this does the job. There is not much space in here, I will say that. So there's, one stud on each side right there so that you can place minifigures. So that's perfectly fine. And then back here, there is a little bit of space for Hedwig. Now you can fit minifigures in here. So if I take Ron, I can place him in there. Of course, he's going to be standing up, so he's going to have to stand up like that, and then he can ride or drive the vehicle. Harry, he can go right beside him. You do have to adjust arms for these minifigures though, so that the doors don't get in the way. So, as you can see here, if his hand was down, that hand there would get in the way of the door closing all the way. So you gotta kind of push the hands up so that they're not in the way. The interior arms don't matter too much, except for Ron, because he's got the steering wheel, so it's gonna be a little bit harder for him to just kind of sit there normally. And then the final animal, I guess, or character that you want to fit in here is Hedwig. So the best place to put him, I found, is the very center of these 4 tiles, which let me go ahead and try to do on camera. Okay, so I had to do it off camera, but as you can see here, you have Ron, Harry in the front with their scary faces on because they are obviously flying through the air, getting chased by the train because they don't know that they were in front of the train. And then back here you have Hedwig. So you can see that he is in there. He's at the very center of those 4 studs. So that's essentially the only place you can put them. You can't really put them anywhere else because the actual mold gets in the way or the other minifigures get in the way. So that's kind of the only spot you can place him, but he does fit in there, and that's the only thing that matters, okay? You're still recreating the scene here. The only thing is I do wish he was facing forward a little bit more, but it's a little bit hard to get him in there perfectly, right? So not too much to complain about there. So putting the ceiling piece back on, you can see the scale of the minifigures with the vehicle. They are, children, so they should be small relative to the vehicle. I feel like this vehicle, though, should be a little bit bigger. This vehicle is 6 studs, right? It's 6 studs in width here. So, it's smaller than Speed Champions, but I feel like if they went with the size of a Speed Champion vehicle, they could have definitely, put more details into it and more space. I'm not sure, how accurate it would have been to the size in the movie, but it would have been a lot easier for figures such as Hedwig back there to get more spacing, and same with Ron and Harry. They wouldn't have to be so close together, so it would be a lot easier. And then you can keep these doors, because I like doors on vehicles. I think that they add a level of realness to the vehicle. So I'm personally a big fan of the doors. I think that they could have kept that, but yeah, I feel like it just could have been a little bit bigger in my opinion. So again, here's everything we get in set 76424, Flying Ford Anglia, containing 165 pieces, retailing for $15 US, and released in 2024. Now, if you want to talk about price per piece, this set comes at about 9 cents per piece, which is under the average, which is pretty good in my opinion. However, as always, the end product is what's more important to me. So in this case, I still feel like for the most part, you're getting your money's worth. There is a little bit of issues. It's mainly with the vehicle itself, such as the kind of off-white line going through the door. That's kind of my biggest issue. Other than that, the vehicle does feel a little bit small, but it's not too big of an issue. You can still recreate scenes with this vehicle, and the minifigures and everything else is still working as intended, such as everything fitting in the back of the trunk. So I think in the end, this is still worth the $15 US. I would have liked to have seen some improvement on this door specifically, and then maybe on the mainly on the width of the vehicle. I don't really care about the height, but the width is definitely something that could have been a little bit bigger in my opinion, and that would have been a lot nicer overall for the spacing inside the vehicle and in the back of the trunk as well. But overall, though, the set is still good. I still think that you are essentially getting your money's worth here for the $15 US, even though it's not entirely perfect, but I still think it's a great set. So that's going to end my review of set 76424 Flying Ford Anglia. If you enjoyed the review, consider liking the video. And if you are enjoying the content overall, consider subscribing. It is completely free and helps me out in the long run. Now, as always, I will see you guys in my next video.